This is a story about a woman who was working in her home late one night. And as she was working there in her home, she heard a knock at her front door. Boom, boom, boom. She opened the door, and standing outside there was an odd-looking man. And the man said, "Madam, would you like to see what I can do with my long, green, sticky fingers?" The woman said, "No." She closed the door and she locked it. But the very next night, at the very same time, the same thing happened. The knock was at the door. She opened it, and there he was again. And the man said, "Madam, would you like to see what I can do with my long, green, sticky fingers?" "No!" She slammed the door and she locked it. But the very next night, at the very same time, the same thing happened. Boom, boom, boom. "Madam, would you like to see what I can do with my long, green, sticky fingers?" "No!" She slammed the door and she locked it. Every night, at the very same time, the same thing always happened. For a whole week, this went on. Week after week for a whole month. Month after month for a whole year. Until exactly 1 year after his first visit. That night, something different happened. The knock was at the door. She opened it. "Madam, would you like to see what I can do with my long, green, sticky fingers?" "I want to... "Yes, show me. Show me what you can do. But if you show me, you have to promise me you'll never bother me again. You'll never come to this house and bother me again." "Very well. Then I will show you what I can do with my long, green, sticky fingers. But not here. No, that I can only show you tonight at midnight in the graveyard." The man turned and he walked away. The woman closed her door gently. First time in a year she'd closed her door gently. But right away she started to think about what had just happened. She couldn't imagine what this man was finally going to show her, using those long, green, sticky fingers. No. So she thought the very best thing for her to do would be to think of something else, something happy. So she began to wander from room to room, pacing back and forth. She went into the living room, and there was the television. She turned it on. She went from channel to channel, channel to channel, channel to channel, but all she saw were commercials. She hated commercials. She turned it off. Look at this. 10 minutes after 11. More time. She went into the kitchen. She was thirsty. She was going to get a glass of water. She did. 1 glass of water, 2 glasses of water, 3 glasses of water. She couldn't hold any more glasses of water. She went into the living room again. She picked up the newspaper. She began to look at the different articles to see if there was anything that would take her mind off the long, green, sticky fingers, but there wasn't anything at all. She put it down. Oh, gosh, it's 20 minutes till 12. She went in. She turned on the radio. Station to station, station to station, station to station. Achy, breaky heart on every station. She turned it off. But now it was 10 minutes until 12. Time for her to leave. She put on her jacket. She opened the door. She started walking down that dark and lonely road. Down that road that was going to lead her to the graveyard to meet that man at midnight. As she walked, she noticed it was getting darker. The clouds, they began to roll in. They were rolling and rolling, and now they were covering the full moon that was out that night. As she walked, the wind began to blow. It was getting colder and colder, darker and darker, and there was a mist in the air. That turned into rain. Finally, she arrived at the graveyard, that huge iron gate that held the cemetery closed off from the rest of the living world. She pushed the gate open. She stepped inside. She found a tiny little path that wandered this way and that. The path went on this way and that. As she walked, she listened for any sound whatsoever. And then she heard something. Something off in the distance. She listened closely and she heard dogs barking. She was scared, all right. She arrived in the very center of the graveyard, just in time, though, to hear bong, bong, bong. The church bell, as it began to strike 12, midnight. She started to look all around for that odd little man. That same little man that had come to her door so many nights before. She looked and she looked. She didn't see him. No matter where it was she looked for this man, there was no sign of him at all. And after a while, she began to get upset, thinking that this had just been some sort of joke from the very beginning. Look at this. Might as well just go on home. He was standing right behind her. And all of a sudden, this man said, "Madam, would you like to see what I can do with my long, green, sticky fingers?" "Oh, yes." Show me. That's why I'm here in the middle of the graveyard in the middle of the night. But remember, you promised me, once you show me, you'll never bother me again. You'll never go to my house and bother me again. Very well. Then I will show you what I can do with my long, green, sticky fingers. Goodbye.